right.
We're
All
live,
right.
at least on my Facebook. I love when they say-
Let me see on regular Facebook. Let's see.
I don't want people thinking that we're just sitting here going, Twitter.
No, we're not. We're twiddling our thumbs.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we're not.
guess what? It's
What,
5:59, but you
Veronica?
know what? We're going to start now. We need some music.
I brought my flag. I hope everybody had a happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July to everybody. Well, it is top of the hour. It is 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. I want to welcome everybody here today to PowHer Hour. We are so excited. We got an amazing guest with us today. I want to welcome my co-host, Miss Renee Rand, Miss Lisa Griggs. Thank you so much for being here. Coming live to you also from Las Vegas. Welcome to everybody, and our main man here takes care of all of our IT, Mr. Gene Beard, coming to you live from Florida. Thank you so much for being here. I want to make sure that everybody knows, in addition, this is Menopause Monday. So we invite the men in with us to PowHer Hour 2.0. Please make sure, call us live on our toll-free number, 877-776-3985. Scan that QR code because we're punching our way up to number 700. And I know that we have something special, which I'll get to with Renee in a minute. But make sure that you invite, like, share, and follow us. Hit that like button. Follow these menopause queens. We love to have everybody in with us. Our Facebook is mainly for our women. Sorry, guys, but you know what? We need a safe place to be there. But I'm going to have Renee Rand jump in and tell us about our romance packages for our giveaways when we do those.
Well,
Renee, take it away.
we're really excited because we're doing something a little different this month. We're actually going to, for every share, every like, everything that you do to help promote our Facebook group, we're going to put your name in the drawing for one of our wonderful romance packages or libido packages. So you get an opportunity to pick a self-care package or a partner package, whatever works best for you. And we just can't wait to watch the numbers roll in and this group grow. So help us out, and we're going to give away some more goodies. We're excited about that.
Yes, we are. So super excited. I can't even wait, when where we're going to be coming live to you from next week and in August. Ladies are traveling around the world. So we're going to get to our special guests. And I'm going to turn it over to Miss Lisa Griggs, who will introduce our special guest this afternoon. Lisa, take it
I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Veronica. I'm really excited because the show is really evolving and we've had some amazing guests coming on and we talk about it a lot. I saw Jean going, I don't know how you ladies who's going to be in charge of figuring out, how we're going to give this prize away in the group. But, really, we talk about it many times and is that really the reason behind why Renee and Veronica and myself started the PowHer Hour was to advocate for women that were struggling with menopause. 1 billion women in menopause this year, 2025, 27 million women that are going to work every single day here in the US with one of the 80 symptoms, and there are that many symptoms. There's a lot of symptoms actually that women don't even realize that are associated with menopause. And I think that because the show's evolved and now, we started out with a lot of content, producing content every single day. We thank God for Gene. Wasn't for him in the background, putting all this stuff together, we wouldn't even be here. And then additionally, we also hosted, our first inaugural World's Women's Menopause Day in Las Vegas, Nevada. We had a gentleman that actually underwrote that entire event, which was very, very powerful because he understood that when women are healthy, men too, reap the benefits, let's say, of that, right? And so that's also another beautiful thing. And so as the show has evolved, we've been able to bring on some really, really incredible guests. And so today I say all of that to say that we are joined today by someone very special. I actually just met this woman a couple weeks ago in person in California. Her name is Dr. Laura Capina. And I love, Dr. Laura, that you're with us today because I think that you can add some real value into the lives of women. And I love that Veronica, when she saw your background, and I'd love for you to share some of your background because, it's really extensive. I love that you're a Kundalini teacher. I too had a Kundalini awakening, which is pretty amazing that you do that. And a lot of people don't know about that. And I don't even know if there's a part that plays in within menopause, and maybe you could speak into that, because I'm 52 and I still get my cycle, and I'm not having a lot of the struggles that I hear others have with perimenopause. But you're a doctor, you're teacher, you have this huge background, which Veronica had mentioned is kind of East meets West. And I love this topic today because you're going to be talking about just the difference of Western medicine and Eastern medicine, and how each handles menopausal symptoms differently. You're also a Chinese medicine doctor, and you work a lot with prescribing herbs and nutrition. And that is how you're addressing these hormonal issues, and kind of like more of a yin and yang type of balance, and working with specific herbs and organs. And you do these different things with kinesiology, and also with quantum practitioner, just so to speak. So with that said, I would love to have you come on and share with us anything that I've missed. And we welcome you today to PowHer Hour. Thank you for being with us.
Yes. Hi, guys.
How are you?
Hi, I'm great. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I am originally from Latvia. I grew up in Latvia, so I have a little accent. If you don't understand, please ask me questions. I love questions. So I grew up in Latvia, which is a very natural world with, everything was medicinal. We always reached out for natural substances first before pharmaceutical. And I never saw allergies, asthma, autism, any of these things growing up. So when I came to United States, I was 20 years old, and I saw so much strange things that I didn't know to believe it or not. I thought that maybe people are like acting or something, or like, how can you be allergic to like a peanut? It's a healthy nut. And or maybe they want attention. I couldn't understand how is it possible. So that's how. And then I went to India and explore a lot of Asian philosophies, and I decided to study Chinese medicine. So I started studying Chinese medicine. I got my master's, I got my PhD. I do acupuncture, I do nutritional consultations, I do herbology. I've been treating patients for almost 20 years now. And yeah, so I definitely have a lot of knowledge. I have a book knowledge, I have a practical knowledge, and I just finished writing a book called The Viking Diet of the 21st Century: How to Be Strong as a Viking Living in Today's Toxic World. And this book is so incredible, and unfortunately, it's not ready yet. It's probably going to take another couple months. So, when it's ready, maybe we can announce it, because, it gives you so many answers of how to truly be healthy. Okay. So basically, what I did is I put together. Oh, I studied every diet in a history. There has been South Beach, there has been Zone diet, Mediterranean, carnivore, vegan, and a lot of these diets are very extreme. Like only carnivore is very extreme, only vegan is extreme. But each diet has a lot of good principles. So I combined all these principles together in this book, the most important principles. I outline every single detox strategy: how to cleanse your colon, how to cleanse your liver, how to cleanse yourself from parasites, from heavy metals, from all the things. There will be over 50 recipes, healthy recipes, and a lot of incredible tips that you will love. How women should fast differently than men according to her cycle, and just a lot of things. And you see, this topic is about hormones, okay? And Western mindset and Western medicine mindset is symptom-based mindset. It's, oh, I have this problem, I have a headache, I take Advil, right? But do you understand how actually dangerous that is? Because, like, okay, maybe nothing too crazy is going on. Maybe you just dehydrated, but really you just need more water, you know? Just drink more water, or you might be just super stressed out, or might be just super run down, or might be hungry. But it could be something more serious there, like a brain tumor. You might have a brain tumor and you just keep taking these painkillers, and you are literally, it's like when you drive the car, you have the check engine light and you just hit it with a hammer and destroy it, and oh, everything is good, right? But something is not good.
Right.
So the same thing with hormones, and this is a huge topic, okay? And I'm gonna touch on few things to think about. It will be impossible for me to really talk about everything in 1 hour. It would be like several days. But basically, hormones is the same way. You see, we think that, okay, so you go to the doctor and you're getting in a menopause, and you need to take estrogen, progesterone, or whatever. And the doctors used to prescribe hormone replacing therapy, right? And they used to prescribe these synthetic hormones. But now actually the doctors don't even prescribe them anymore, because they learned how dangerous they are, because synthetic hormones have severe side effects. They can cause cancer and things like that. Even like I just went to my doctor recently, and she was like, yeah, we really don't suggest them anymore, So, and that again, that's like, okay, give me that for that. But I want you to think about, I'm going to mention a few things. And as I talk about these things, I tell my patients, I don't want people to freak out and get anxiety, okay? Like, oh my God, everything is killing me, everything is so bad. I'm not telling this for anybody to get anxiety or to live in fear, because that alone affect your hormones and everything, and literally affect your longevity, because in Chinese medicine, fear is the emotion of the kidneys. So more in fear you are, you literally damage your kidneys and you damage your longevity, okay? So this is just for information. And we need to be aware. We can't just like we live in extremely toxic world right now, extremely, okay? And everything affects us. So and I'm gonna touch on few things that also in my book, okay? So first, real food. We have to eat real food. The processed foods has just so much crap that causes inflammation and will affect our hormones 100%. I have patients who come in and say, I want to lose weight, and then they eat meat that's not organic. Do you know that all the animals are injected with hormones, with growth hormones? So they, like, in 1950s, the chicken was like a little bird. Now it looks like a soccer ball. It's like this. It's like 7 times larger. Why do you think that is? They pump them up with hormones, so to sell more meat, right? So how can you even possibly lose weight or avoid these hormones if you're getting these hormones through your meat? So if you do eat meat, it really has to be organic. Is it perfect? Not, but it's still better than all these injected animals. So that could be one thing. A lot of nutrient deficiencies will cause not enough hormone production in our body. For example, our thyroid makes hormones, and the food for thyroid is iodine and selenium. Okay, so if you don't get enough, if we don't get enough iodine, our thyroid can't function. So this is a big problem in United States. And actually, all United States is in trouble, but California is really bad because we are on Pacific Ocean and we're getting all this radiation. There was this nuclear plant, Fukushima in Japan, exploded in 2013 and started leaking all this radioactive stuff into the Pacific Ocean. And we're getting all this radiation. We're getting radiation from Fukushima, from cell phones, from the cell phone towers, from everything. Also, there is a term, it's called halogen dominance, okay? So these halogens in the environment, like fluorides, bromides, chlorides, they all take our receptor sites and mess up with our hormones. Iodine feed our receptor sites and don't allow these other halogens to take these receptor sites. And in the United States, we don't consume enough iodine. Like in Japan and Asia, they eat a lot of seaweed and seafood, and they feed these receptor sites. And like in the United States, the top two cancers for women are thyroid cancer and breast cancer. And one big reason is from not enough iodine. The best source of iodine is from a seaweed source, not the dark iodine. Anything synthetic, anything processed is not good. We always want everything from the food sources, from the nature. So like I was watching your last week's speaker, and he said, just get everything from food, which is big. It's true, but on the other hand, we're not getting like for example, like iodine, we really need to take either supplement or we need to take like a kelp, which is technically food, but it usually comes in a powder form and we can just add it to our smoothies. But we really, and women, need 6 times more iodine than men because we have more receptors, more glands, and which feeds the iodine, our breasts, our uterus, but thyroid is number one. Like you cannot even have a normal thyroid, like of hormone levels in the body if your thyroid is not functioning. Okay, the other one is DHA. Omega-3 DHA, he talked a lot about that last week, and that is incredibly important. I actually have my own supplement company that makes vegan DHA product. It's incredible. It's liposomal. It's delicious. And I added something called delta tocotrienols, which is the most powerful form of vitamin E that is natural preservative. It basically preserves our cells, our cell membranes. It's very important right now for us to get as many antioxidants as we can to protect us from this crazy, free radicals and all the toxicity. And so my product has that. It's super incredible, but we are sold out. We just sold out the last few bottles. So we don't have that as well. So when I have it, I'm gonna maybe we can do another Zoom because there is just so much to talk about. Other huge thing is blood sugar. Blood sugar is a huge one. Blood sugar, like when we get too much glucose or like too much these sugars, we have the glucose roller coaster going up and down in our body. And what happens is insulin resistance. When we have insulin resistance, we start gaining weight. The belly weight, the weight around our belly, that's one big cause is insulin resistance. And I heard you talk about that as well. So like we cannot, you can take all the estrogen or progesterone you want, but if you don't control your blood sugar and your insulin levels, you cannot be healthy. More things like fasting. And I know I heard he's not a big fan of fasting. Fasting is incredible. It's medicine. Okay. It's medicine.
Dr. Capina, just so you know, that's a conversation that him and I have almost daily. Because I love to fast.
Yeah, that's nothing to be arguing about. That's like, it's a timeless thing that people do fasting. it's not to just fast and to starve yourself and suffer and not to eat. That's not the point. It's for longevity. It's literally, it increases your growth hormone. It supports the repair and fat metabolism, you know? It's, of course, like over fasting or, you know,
Yes.
doing too much is not
Yes.
healthy, you know?
Right.
And
Correct.
women, depending of her cycle, you know, but this eating all the time, like every 2 3 hours eating, that's like, this is how puts our body into this metabolic chaos, you know. We have to train ourselves to like to be able. It's like when I see people, it's like, oh, I constantly have to eat, like, oh, my body is gonna go into shock, you know. It's like you have to train yourself to
I
go
think
longer.
Jean feels that way. Dr. Capina, I think Jean feels that way.
And you know, I mean, there is studies proving what happens when your body fasts. Like when you yeah, it's like a construction worker. If he was working 24/7 every day for years, he would just die. He would crash. The same thing with our digestive system. It needs a little break, you know, just common sense, you know. And if you go one day, then this happens. And if you go 2 days, if you go 3 days on water only, your body literally starts producing stem cells. And the body starts eating its own cells. It starts eating all this trash. It's science. It's not something to even argue about, you know. Also sleep. If you don't get enough sleep uninterrupted, like 5 hours minimum of sleep, our body doesn't even make hormones. Like it's very difficult, you know. Also detox, when these detox pathways are closed, like the liver detox, you know, it can't clear excess hormones, and it can't clear these xenoestrogens. They called xenoestrogens, and they are these fake estrogens that we get from living in today's extremely toxic world, like you know, drinking from plastic water bottles, and you know, microwaving cheers, and microwaving no better. You
Who
know,
knew?
microwave, you can never microwave in plastic. We shouldn't microwave at all, because microwave literally alters the molecular structure of our food. Like our body doesn't even recognize as of what it is, you know. But especially in plastics, because it all leaches, and we're getting these xenoestrogens, you know. And there is some substances like DIM, indole tricarbinol, things like that, like from broccoli and broccoli sprouts and Brussels sprouts, that detoxify the xenoestrogens from our body. But that is very, very important. Just also living with a rhythm of seasons, you know, like we have circadian rhythms, and we have seasonal rhythms, you know, like in the it's I would say just all common sense, you know, like when the longer daylight, there is a natural raise in serotonin and dopamine, right? It just happens. This is all hormones, you know. Like we just think about hormones like, oh, it's like fertility and aging and menopause, but like hormones are literally like everything. They are body's messengers for vitality, for mood, for metabolism, for immunity, for even for purpose. It's how we feel, you know?
Yeah, I love even in relationships, you know,
Yeah.
men and women, it's very hormonal. The relationship piece. I know Renee's gotten up on that. We've talked about it here on the show before. You know, men are producing testosterone, women are producing estrogen, and the way that you know, even when men are around happy women, their testosterone naturally goes up. When they're around miserable women, their testosterone goes down. And we know that men want to have their testosterone up. Women, we want to be around men that have their testosterone up because we want to be happy. So we know that does play a big part of that. Veronica wants to ask a question.
You know, I was writing some notes here, Dr. Carpina. You know what? The biggest thing between my husband and I, we talk about buying organic as opposed to your just buying a pack of chicken off the shelf. Oh, it's just bull. It's not organic. I look into organic and I like organic. I'll buy organic. He is a total straight meat potato guy. Just give me the package and that's it. So can you elaborate a little bit on the organic versus the your I know that they put all these hormones and everything in chicken, but again, I look for free range, organic, and whatnot. So if you
Yeah.
could just elaborate on, it really is organic. It's
Yeah.
not just, this chicken that you throw a ton of different antibiotics and all that stuff in it.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, there is something, it's called clean 15 and dirty dozen. Have you heard about that? You can look it up, okay? So basically, the clean 15 are things that are okay not to be organic. They have thicker skin like avocado, pineapples, okay? There is something called dirty dozen. Those things have these like berries and apples and peaches and apricots and things like that. They have this porous skin, and they really absorb all these chemicals, like really just they full of this. It's so bad. Absolutely, they have to be organic. It's non-negotiable. Like berries, apples, I will never eat or buy non-organic dirty dozen stuff, right?
Right.
So again, like is look, of course, like it's not, nothing is fully organic anymore. Like we literally live in an insanely toxic world. Like if this field is organic and this is not, and they spray this field with glyphosate, do you think that this field is not gonna get any? Of course it will, but it's still better. Like I've seen videos where these guys, they spray the fields with gas masks on. Like think about, they have gas masks and like a full on these suits, and they go and they spray the fields, and that's what we eat. It's not okay. And earlier or later it will accumulate, and it will create problems. And like the chicken, like if it's not organic, it's one of the worst foods you can eat. And when it comes in this plastic bag they put it hot in this bag, like in Costco, this bag leaches. So he's not only eating this toxic chicken, whatever that is, and who knows what they fed it with and what they injected it with. You just like need to watch some videos, what they do to these animals, and then make a decision. And there is some people who will never change. Some people are just not coachable and they don't care. I have patients that both of their feet got removed because they have diabetes,
Mm.
and literally feet got removed. They are on a wheelchair and they still not gonna change their diet. I have another patient who has leukemia and all these things, and he's not gonna change. He comes for acupuncture for some strange reason. So like, I don't know, for some reason he believes in acupuncture, but he doesn't but he doesn't believe in like, food, eating healthy and stuff like that. So he's not gonna change, and he's dying from leukemia. It breaks my heart. And I have patients who say, I'm all in, whatever you're gonna tell me, like what I should eat and what supplements I should take. And body is so miraculous. I had one patient, he had diabetes for 8 years, super, just really bad. He was on insulin shots and just really suffering. And I thought he changed his diet in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. He stopped injecting insulin. He's so much better. He's literally just like almost fine now. Just in 3 weeks, completely cut out all sugar, even including fruits, and he just really changed his diet, and he's fine. So it's everyone's choice, and it's depending how desperate they are. And honestly, like and sometimes unfortunately it's too late. I have people I have ladies who I do this test called quantum reflex analysis. It's type of applied kinesiology, like a muscle test. And I've been doing this for 15 years, and I test every organ and gland point in the body and see what the body is missing. And I tell them what to do. So I had this lady like 10 years ago. I told her her thyroid is not functioning very well. She needs to take some iodine and things like that. And she didn't do it. And then I've been at this wellness center where I work for almost 14 years now. So I've been there a long time. And she came 10 years later, and so what happens when thyroid doesn't work, the medications that people take, they don't make your thyroid work. Basically, your thyroid needs iodine to function to make hormones. And these medications are synthetic hormones. It's kind of like an end result, you know? It's kind of like if you are exhausted, you have 3 energy drinks. Like, yeah, it will keep you going, but on what expense? So the same thing with these hormones is like they take the hormones to stay alive, but the glands are still not working, you see. And then what happens, it gets worse, and all these goiters start growing. So she had like the thyroid not working and all these goiters, and eventually it turns cancerous. So it cut out everything, cut out all the goiters, cut out her thyroid. So now she's on medication for life. She gained so much weight. And she said, you know, I am so overweight. I am so depressed. I just like so depressed now. I don't know what to do. But now nothing we can do because we can't turn that back. She was crying. She said, I wish I listened to you 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah. So you know what? Let's take, for example, you have these people who do injectable HGH, okay? I know there's a bunch of things out there, but say someone who is injecting human growth hormone, is that still, if you do that, still have to take iodine? Or you have to have your blood work and stuff done to determine where your iodine level
That is two completely different things. So iodine is a mineral. We all are missing minerals. We are severely mineral deficient because soils are depleted. We need all minerals, all of them. But most important is magnesium. I would say magnesium and iodine. Those are just two crazy important. Every single human needs that, especially women and especially where we live. Okay. And so that's just non-negotiable. We need iodine for thyroid, so the thyroid works. But it's also not just for thyroid. It's a lot of glands in our body needed for body to like it's literally like. It's like, think about our body as like this. It's like a mineral solution. We have this blood. It's like a mineral solution. It's like a salt water. That's why salt is extremely good for us, actually. It's not bad for us. It's actually very good for us. It's just what quality, you know, everything is quality. I tell people, like, so you see, I am for the in my opinion, this is like the true, real way how to be healthy, connected, the way God and nature created everything. Okay, so I don't believe in quick fixes. Yeah, sometimes we need something here and there, you know, but I don't believe like the human growth hormone injections. For me, any kind of, I don't like injections at all. None of them are fully natural. They add stabilizer, even vitamins, even vitamin IVs, even B vitamins, and all the things that people do. You know, peptides are a big thing. They have to somehow synthesize them or make them. They're not fully natural. If you truly live on these principles where you exercise and drink a lot of water and get a good night's sleep and, you know, watch your blood sugar and don't eat all this, you know, sugar, and nourish yourself with minerals and omega-3s, DHA, you know, and you live with the cycles and with the cycles of life, whether it's daily cycles or seasonal cycles or yearly cycles, and you detox regularly, you will get better. You get, but these growth hormone injections, there is some condition called acromegaly where the bones and hands and feet start growing. It's to me it's crazy. Like we really don't know what will happen in 10 years. Like all these weird things will start growing. I'm not a big fan of that.
Oh, just for the record, I do not do HGH injections, but I'm just saying, you have these HGH transdermal gels and whatnot. I'm just wondering, with that helping with the iodine and the thyroid and the hormones and everything. So, just like a baseline. As for, like I know, Lisa, you have it. We talked about with Dr. Gall. The epigenetics, the genetic lifespan, age code, blood test.
Yeah.
I did that.
Everybody's talking about testing nowadays. I'm hugely about it now. About it. I just got another text today from a gentleman, and he said, Lisa, I need to get on the phone with you because I've heard testing come up twice today already with 2 different people. So it seems to be the thing that everybody's moving towards, is that we have to test. I mean, obviously, we've got all this great knowledge that's being pushed out there, whether it's intermittent fasting, whether it's not, whether it's a microwave, whether it's not, whether it's, iodine. This is the first time, and I believe I'm a very conscious of my health. I became very conscious of my health, just like Renee did years ago, because many know my story. I was 200 pounds. I was in the hospital with COVID, completely inflamed. 3 years ago, I was taking bikini shots out at Lake Mead this weekend. So you never would have seen me in a bikini. But now I feel way more health conscious. Yeah. The type of water I'm drinking, the type of, obviously I'm not drinking good water today, but normally I am.
And I want to mention, I don't know if I mentioned exercise.
And exercising. I know I'm always walking. I'm always doing all those things. But how much, doctor, does testing, like, obviously there's age code. Robert Ferguson was on last week he does a test that has to do with omega-3.
Well, he just tests omegas. The age code tests everything. Yeah. So that's an amazing test. And of course, everyone should do it, Yes. I mean, this is why we live in 21st century. Like, let's find out how our genes are. Let's find out these things. It's not, it's like, I mean, come on, like we're flying to the moon. It's like it's amazing to me how people will take better care of their cars and their pets than their own bodies. Like the car, oil change every 6 months. It's like, what about oil change in your body? Because if something happens to you, that's it. Nobody even cares about that car anymore. You just can't go anywhere, like number one priority is your health. And I wanted to mention, so testing 100%, get tested, but to find out what it is, but then you need to know what to do, and I'm telling you, everybody's looking for latest and greatest and things, but these foundational principles are non-negotiable. If you don't sleep, it will affect your hormones enough. Will affect your mood. It will affect your whole life. If you don't drink enough water, it will affect you. If you don't exercise, this is the missing link. I have so many patients who like do all the things right. They change their diet and they start taking the supplements and do the things, but they don't exercise and they don't understand why they are fully not getting this breakthrough. And I told about the study, I think to you, Lisa, but I'm gonna repeat this. There was a study done where there were smokers who exercised and non-smokers who didn't exercise. And smokers who exercised had better readings overall than non-smokers who didn't exercise. How crazy is that? That just tells you right there that honestly, the exercise is almost more important than diet, actually. You have to move your body. Like even the most purest water sitting there will get cloudy. It will get stagnant. And think about it, our body is mostly water. It has to move. Things have to move. But we live in too much toxic times right now. This is not something like, oh, I will exercise, when I go on vacation, or I will do a detox like once a year, I'll do like a 3-day juice fast. No, it's literally, we need to take some bentonite clays, some binders every day. We need to take some algae, some chlorellas and things like that, spirulina, to really like bind to all these heavy metals. We literally get heavy metals, from fish, from sushi, from the sky, from every angle. These things, this has to become part of the lifestyle.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to get my results back. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, I had a question I wanted to ask. How important is emotional health in managing menopause symptoms, or actually our health in general, in your view?
Yeah. So emotional health, of course, obviously is huge. It's another non-negotiable, And if you are stressed, your body produces cortisol. Like when we are this is what I tell my patients. I always talk in like analogies so they really simply understand, okay? So our body, so when we are stressed out, okay, stressed, our body raises cortisol. Our body becomes very acidic. When body is acidic, is in a super stress state. And what happens is, I tell people, it's like, think about if you are about to fall off the cliff right now, and somebody said, hey, like, do you want to go like have a nice dinner, like, or make out? And you're like, I'm literally falling off the cliff, right? That's what, or anything becomes secondary. When you are stressed, your immune system becomes secondary. Your sexual, everything becomes secondary. Your digestive system becomes secondary. Everything becomes, until the body goes back to balance. The pH is so important. And not only alcohol will affect our pH, or coffee, almost everything affects our pH, including stress, So when our pH is off, our body doesn't care if you like want to go to nice dinner or make love or go number two. It doesn't matter. It's literally falling off the cliff. So the body starts pulling minerals out from our bones to bring back the pH level, right? And what happens is, first of all, the weakens the bones, but also these heavy minerals, they have to go somewhere, and they starting to cause problems like kidney stones and bone spurs, and affect our blood vessels and everything. So yeah, so it's super, super, super important. We have to, do, breath work and whatever it takes, meditation, it's important. 100%. All these factors are important. We can't, if we did it all, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
But if we did a little bit of this and a little bit of that, even that matters. I have people who don't do anything. I tell them, but consistency is key. You see, I tell people like even if you just did one thing, if you started drinking more water with lemon and pinch of sea salt every day. Every day you wake up in the morning, you have a 16-ounce glass with water, fresh lemon, and a pinch of air-dried sea salt, and you drink that. This is the most magical drink before your tea, before your coffee, before anything else, So the consistency is key. Or if you end hot shower with cold shower, for example, or if you just exercise, or if you, do some kind of gratitude, like every night you just think like what you're grateful for, or you thank God for your day, all these little things will start adding up.
Our topic is East meets West. So how
Yeah.
would you view menopause from an Eastern medicine perspective versus the Western medicine, the difference between the two?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good question. So basically in Chinese medicine, it's very, 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 very different. Okay. So in Chinese medicine, everything is based on a balance of yin and yang. Okay. So all the hormones, how like basically the way all organs are connected and how they all work together, and there is yin and yang balance. The most important organ in Chinese medicine for hormones for menopause is kidneys. Okay. So kidneys in Western medicine, mostly it's just for water metabolism, and stuff like that. Oh, I have swollen ankles and things like that. But in Western medicine, in Chinese medicine, it's literally the most important longevity organ. Kidney health is extremely important. And we have to start taking care of our kidneys way before we reach menopause, or for men as well as we get older, because kidneys, you see, when different times of our life we need different things to, like, we have foundational things like the minerals and omega-3s, right? And then when we growing, we need more healthy fats and protein. But as we get older, at menopause age, and for men and women as well, for men as well, is we really need to start thinking about adding herbs, like Chinese herbs in our diet, because the herbs are for longevity, very important. And so for women, when we go in the menopause, so women are more yin and men are more yang. Yin is like a nourishing, like it's like basically like sun and moon and night and day and hot and cold and energy and rest, all these opposites. So yang energy is a male energy. It's like the sun, like the heat, like get going. The yin energy is the nourishing, is the female, is the earth and heaven. Woman is the earth. Woman is like the mother that nourishes, okay? The yin. So as we go in the menopause, the yin energy gets weak. So we need to start taking some yin strengthening herbs. So in Chinese medicine, there's some herbs that will strengthen that kidney yin energy, okay? And it's amazing when you start taking these herbs, literally, like, your menopausal symptoms go away. Like, I have so many patients who, start taking the Chinese herbs for strengthening the kidney in. But again, you need to find out. Some women also will have yang weak as well, both yin and yang. But more women is in deficiency. And you start taking these herbs, and the hot flushes go away, and everything starts correcting, and people feel better. And because you see, kidney is a very sensitive organ, and it's so sensitive. They are even sensitive to Tylenol. I'm not talking even the over-the-counter medications. It can damage the kidneys. So that's why we need to drink more water. Kidneys are they don't like dehydration. And they also don't like a lot of bad salt. That's why we need to avoid processed foods. But they need good salt. They actually need good salt. I have people who come in my clinic, and they say, "Oh, we don't use any salt at all. Like, none of we never use salt. We don't cook with salt. Our kids don't use salt." And it's very sad, because salt is literally precursor of our stomach acid. It's bad for digestion not to eat salt. Okay, so that's one of the main things why people are dehydrated and they have headaches, is when you get a good quality air dried sea salt, is when you start mineralizing, and a lot of these things start go away. So the kidneys need the good salt, very important, but to avoid the bad processed, bleached, heated salt mortons, that's like anti-caking agents and whatever else they add to that salt. So and I have a lot of times people who call me, like, for example, my girlfriend's mother. She said, "Oh, her kidneys are weak." I said, "You need to put her on kidney herbs immediately. And because it takes about 4 months to strengthen kidneys. It's not like 5 days or 1 week."
Quick fix.
And she didn't do it. And then when she got in a hospital, she was dying and her kidneys were failing. And she was calling me crying. And she said, "Please, what can I do, to strengthen my mom's kidneys. And I said, I'm sorry, you needed to do it when I told you several months ago. And some things in the body are just not so fast, you just like to really strengthen, to rebuild some of the our body is magical, and it can rebuild, but it just takes time.
Yeah, I definitely saw that. Do you have a website, Dr. Capina? Because we definitely want to make sure that we get that in the chat for anybody that wants to get in touch with you. How do they do that?
Yeah, so well, I have a website for my supplement company, and there is my email address there. It's called synergy.com. SYNERCHII.com. This is my supplement. This is how it looks like. So it's a super delicious almond butter with omega-3 DHA from algae, because fish gets it from algae. This is the source. This is the beginning of all life on the planet. The algae, everything starts with algae. And so this is very high in DHA, which is literally what makes our brain, our eyes, our heart. It's like he talked a lot about cell membranes last week, which is so true. Without a healthy cell membrane, we can't have a healthy cell. You can take NAD, you can take all these things, but if your cell membrane is not healthy, your cell will never function, normally. And then it's also liposomal. So most fish oils and algae oils, they come in soft gels, which soft gels are very, very hard to break down and absorb, especially for as we get older, after 60. Our body, our stomach acid is not very strong anymore to break down a lot of things like soft gels. So this one is liquid. And it's also liposomal, because we don't absorb oils, we don't absorb fats. Our body is mostly water. So all the fat soluble vitamins really should be either liposomal, or really you really have to make sure you eat them with other fats or with your fattest meal of the day. So yeah, so this supplement is really incredible. And then I have the Delta tocotrienols, which is the only form of vitamin E that is the only fat soluble vitamin that powerfully protects our cell membranes. So yeah, so this is the website. We are sold out, but I will let you know, Lisa, when it's back in stock.
Okay.
With all the tariffs, with all the things that's happening, it's like like we've been working with the factory for a while now, and it's really tough out there right now. So yeah, so when this is ready, and when my book is ready, my book will talk about all the things that I mentioned today.
Wow.
Okay, definitely. Awesome. I'm glad we got your website in the chat. We'll definitely have you back to talk about your book, and also when you have your supplements. And I don't know if we had any other questions, other than it sounds like you are definitely encouraging people to look at other options than just the way the West does it. I was actually on the phone with Robert. He wrote an article. I'm gonna send it over to you, How to Live to be 120 years old. And there was some parallels there, because he was like, Lisa, who do you think lives the longest? I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to take a guess. Maybe the people that are eating the Mediterranean diet. He's like, no. So I was like, Asian, Hong Kong. I'm like, oh, okay. So I think you guys are similarly aligned.
They called blue zones.
Yes.
Zones.
And so
they are Okinawa, Japan, and Costa Rica, and Sardinia, and even there's Loma Linda, California. And number one, what they all have in common is two things: is community, is your tribe, and second thing is purpose. Purpose is extremely important for longevity. In Japanese, they have a term, it's called ikigai. The reason to get up in the morning. If you don't have a purpose, no matter how amazing you eat or whatever you do, you have nothing to look forward to. Like you have to be like a kid, just excited. Like I will never stop creating, never. I have PhDs and all the degrees, and been treating patients for so long, and I know what works, what doesn't work. But like we always need something to look forward to. to have that passion. You just jump up in the morning and you just like, you can't wait, to see. That's what they all have in common. And actually, statistically, people die fastest who were in professions who were like needed, like who felt like teachers and firefighters, and they felt like, oh, I'm needed, and suddenly they retired and they don't go anywhere, and they chronic diseases go up and they die. It's actually proven by science now.
Yeah, I believe that. Your ikigai has to do with, what you love, what you're good at, what you can get paid for, and what humanity needs, what the world needs. So if you could line up those, 4 things, that's your ikigai, which is your chi that moves you. And I love that. I'll study more about the blue zone because I'm totally into all of that stuff. I love that about the ikigai. Very, very powerful place to live.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow. You know what, Dr. Capina, I want to thank you so much for being here with us today. I look forward to having you again on with us. Want to take this opportunity to remind everybody to please like, share, follow, and invite us. Scan that QR code. We'll meet here next week, same place, same time. We will all be I believe we're coming from California and Las Vegas next
Las
week.
Vegas next
Woo! Yes.
Yeah, all 3 of us will be together in Vegas.
Yes, Las Vegas, and our special guest next week will be Angel Chandler. She'll be joining us as well. So check out the Facebook page again. Lisa, Renee, do you ladies have anything else that you want to talk about?
Have an amazing, fabulous week.
Yeah, good. This is a great discussion. Dr. Capina, thank you again so much for being with us. What a blessing. If anybody has any last, things they want to put in the chat, do it very, very quickly because she has a wealth of information. And, I'm glad I wore the right blue zone color today because I'm gonna really dial into that. I'm thinking
I didn't mention any Chinese herbs, but they're just in Chinese, like Shu Di Huang, Huang Qi, Bai Shao, Dang Gui, He Shou Wu. These are the herbs that strengthen that in energy. But I know it's like it's hard to remember, for
Is
people.
there a way, doctor, to
list.
get? Yeah, can we get that list and post that in our PowHer Hour group? That would be
Yeah.
great if we could get that list. Also, I wrote down the list for the Dirty Dozen. We'll make sure that we get that posted, and the Clean 15 as well. I think that would
I
be
already
really
posted.
good.
Already posted the same link I posted in here on all the
Okay.
chats, on all
Awesome.
the videos that are going out. So
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Jean, because I think that could be very valuable information that these ladies could have access to all the time.
Hmm?
Awesome.
Sure.
Well,
Yeah, awesome.
thank you again. I hope everybody has
Yeah.
a fabulous week, and we'll be right back here next week, same place, same time. Thank you. Great.
thanks a lot.
you.
Thank you,
Bye.
doctor.
Bye, doctor.